happy to bring you game 2 here on SportsNetUSA.net. As Ventura ends up taking on Cerritos, losing them in the first game, but here in the second game. Isabel Gallegos. Fouls it away. So Ventura trying to jump on top to start off this game. In the circle for Cerritos today, Courtney Callison. So we'll see Courtney in the circle, see what she does today. Coming in our direction, just foul. Ed Ford and I were gonna reach over and reach for that one, and then Brooklyn Bedoya said, you know what, I'll crash into the old guy and Ed. Backs off just a little.
Yeah, that would have been tragic for us.
It would have. And Gallegos. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base as we head to the bottom of the first. It's Ventura 0. Cerritos coming to the bat. We'll start off with Leduc, Sotelo, Nahara, your traditional 3 that'll start off for Cody. That's who we've seen a great deal of these games that we've come out to do here at Nancy Kelly Field on SportsNetUSA.net. When we look at Ventura, Tafoya is in the circle. Ayala behind the plate. Perez at first. Guzman at second. Ortega at third. Strong at short. Garcia in left. Albrent in center. And then in right is going to be Isabel Gallegos. So Leduc, the first base person, is up for Cerritos. Leduc had the big hit that won that first game. For Cerritos. Duke takes the second pitch for a strike. Captafoya in the circle for Ventura. Next pitch down and away. So Cerritos comes away with a victory in the first game today on a big hit by the young lady that's at the plate. Little flopper that goes just foul down the right field line. So we'll set that defense for Ventura in just a second. Just the start of the second game here on SportsNetUSA.net. Just off the plate for a ball. Three and two, no outs. Bottom of the first. Ventura got one hit on their half of the first, no runs in. High fly ball down to left field. Garcia underneath it makes the catch for the first out. Sotelo comes up now. So Ayala behind the plate, Tafoya in the circle for Ventura. Ashley Perez over at first. Sotelo takes that for a ball. Alyssa Guzman at second. Abby Strong at short. Jocelyn Ortega is at third. Sayana Garcia is in left. Laura Albrent in center. And Isabel Gallegos over in right. And that is the defense for this Ventura team. Sonia Ford is the manager for this Ventura softball team, and Cody Murray, her counterpart with Cerritos. Cerritos lost a tough one to Mount Sac, comes back, bounces back big in the first game today and wins it in the seventh. A walk-off hit for a victory. Sotelo waits. Tafoya stretches. Sotelo pops up. Easy out right there to Ashley Perez over at first base. So Nahara comes up. Like Vicky at catcher for this team. She's an excellent catcher for this softball team. Vicky had a huge home run yesterday up in the alley. Little wind blowing today, but it was a shot, so it wasn't wind aided or anything else. When she turns on the ball, she gets power into it. Lopsat is going to drop. It does. Base hit for Nahara. So Bedoya comes up. Brooklyn Bedoya, solid third base person for this Falcons softball team. Brooklyn goes after the first one. It's fouled off. So Brooklyn looks down to Cody. Cody giving her signs. Takes that one for a ball. 2 outs. Both these teams have gotten a runner on in the first inning. Ventura walked away with nothing, couldn't cash in the chip. Falcons trying to do it themselves. Bedoya takes a golf swing. Strike two. Half the Ventura team starts running off the field and says, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. She gets 3. A rarity in softball. 3 strikes to get out. Bedoya goes back. Clouds have cleared. High and away. 2-2's the count. So 2-2. Swing and a miss throw. Get the runner. But the runner behind the plate was already out. So no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. 1 left on base. As we head to the top of the second, well, it's 0-0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ventura 0, Cerritos 0 here for the game of the week on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ed Ford, Mark Pavlovich bringing you the action here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So Ventura, everybody was happy when I went over to the dugout, looked for the starting lineups. They all looked at me and said, what a great day to play softball. Perfect weather for it. We agree here on Sportsnet, USA.net. The only difference that Ventura would like is they'd love to have walked away with a victory in a very tight game. That first game here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So Jocelyn Ortega, who's playing third base for Ventura, will come up. So Ortega steps up for Ventura. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Take a fouls the next one away. 1-1's the count. Ortega with a high bat set. Takes strike 2 right down the middle. So 1-2 to Ortega to start off the second. Leans, but just doesn't go after it. Lets that one go. Ortega fouls the next one off. Ortega waits. Callison gets ready to deal. Brings it home. Just off the plate. So Ortega trying to get things started for Ventura here. And starts it off with a walk. So Garcia comes up with a runner over at first. Sayana Garcia is how I got told her name was. Playing left field for the Pirates. Fouls that one away. Solid hitter. Hits in the high 300s when she comes up. Strong on-base percentage of .439. Slugging percentage around .430. 1 walk, 14 strikeouts, so free swinging at the plate. Fouls that high. Nahara gets underneath it and brings it home for the out. So Tafoya comes up in the circle today for Ventura. Tafoya sort of dabbles around the 300 mark as a hitter. Takes the second pitch off the plate. 2-0's the count. 1 out. Runner at first. No score. Cerritos wins the first game. Ventura wanting to tie it up, even it out today. Next one, down and away. 3-0. Takes 4 straight balls. So 2 on, both with walks. And Ed Ford, you look at Callison so far, not that steady in the circle to start this game off.
No, she isn't. That last pitch was the closest one to a strike, but just a hair low.
Isabel Ayala at the plate. Isabel catching today for Ventura.
And when your catcher gives you a gift of getting a pop-up, you know, a foul out on the screen, you got to challenge that next hitter and not throw 4 straight balls. But that's not what happened. And now, as you were saying, Mark, Ventura with a runner at second, a runner at first, and only 1 down. But an 0-2 count, so that's a favor towards the Falcons.
Callison gets the big strikeout when she needs it. Abby Strong comes up. Strong playing shortstop today for Ventura. So Abby Strong comes to the plate. Again, another Ventura hitter that's right in that 300 range.
Nice to have a team that everybody's right in that 300 range, and then you have a player or two that's at the 400 range.
Callison.
Yeah, she dealt a strike there. Nice low strike.
Takes that low. 1-2's the count to Strong. One, two from the circle, just off the plate. 2-2's the count. Both runners walked to get where they are. Callison bounces that runner, start to go and then stop. and go back to their designated bases.
So after getting ahead, 0-2, now she's run the count to full and a danger of loading up the bases.
Runners will go. Strike 3 called. Boy, I tell you what, that was down and away, but they got the call. No runs, no hits, no errors, but 2 left on base as we head to the bottom of the second. It's Ventura 0, Cerritos 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ed Ford, Mark Pavlovich calling the action in game number 2 as Ventura loses game number 1 in the 7th inning against a very good Cerritos softball team. When you think about them all together, one of the better teams in Southern California right now when you're looking at Cerritos. And Cody's got them playing, and she's got them playing well as a softball team. And when I was talking to the young women in between the games, everybody likes each other over there in that dugout, Ed. I mean, they really all care. And they all said to me, hey, you know, if we can stick around together for 2 years, that's what the plan is for this softball team.
Well, definitely you need that camaraderie, that togetherness. Because if that's not going on, as you well know, Mark, you can't have a lot of dissension in the team between players. It just doesn't work out very well.
So Maddie Guillen comes up. Sweet swinging left-hander. Playing left field today for Cody. High fly ball, center field. Easy drink of water for Albrecht out there in center field. 1 up, 1 down. So Torres now comes up. Michaela Torres, designated player in today's game. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Torres, one of the other batters here. Wide open stance. Dribbles it off. Easy play for Guzman over at first base. So Guzman gets that out.
Yeah, if you had a runner on, and that was a sacrifice situation, that would have been a perfect one. Give yourself up, roll it where the first base and has to make the play.
Miranda Diaz does a excuse me swing and pops out to second base. So easy, 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we head to the top of the third, it's the Pirates 0, the Falcons 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ed Ford standing next to the old guy, Mark Pavlovich here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Quality softball seen yesterday in the Mount Sac game. And Ed, it was that just 2 long balls yesterday basically determined the outcome of the game, and maybe 1 mishap in the infield for the Falcons, that if they make a play in the infield, that home run never takes place for Mount Sac.
Absolutely. But you lose the game, and as important as playing for first place is, you know, that is over with. So they come out today and they do bounce back. They take the first game against a team, Ventura, that's been ranked in the top 10 in RPI and in the regular voting for most of this season. So a quality win, a tight win, a walk-off in the 7th. So that's what they needed. I mean, this whole conference, we've been talking about how good this conference is. You can't overlook people. Look what happened to Long Beach yesterday. They got beat by Rio Hondo, so we can't count Rio Hondo out of this whole, stew of teams that could come out of the South Coast Conference.
Foul ball towards Ed Ford as we go to the top of the order with Ashley Perez.
And in Ventura's conference, you've got Ventura, you've got Alan Hancock, and you've got, I always forget. You go up the 101.
Wait a minute. I mean, we got Bakersfield. We got
no,
Moore Park.
We
got Moore Park.
That's the one. Now, Bakersfield is
Okay.
the 99.
Okay.
We usually take the 5 to bypass that. Too much traffic in Bakersfield.
Perez takes that low.
But, it's Rio Hondo jumping in there and saying, hey, wait a minute. This isn't going to be a 3-way race. They've won 8 in a row. That matches Mount Sacs 8 in a row.
Off of Callison. Throw over to first. Not in time. Thank goodness Corey Nalen is not with me today. I know John gave her a hit over there. Mr. Pavlovich likes to say, field your position. So I'm going to score that as an error. Even though it was a shot, it was right back to the circle. Perez takes off. Throw. Safe at second with a stolen base.
See if we can catch part of that. No outside our camera's view, at least that camera at least. But a good jump, and, if you let the runner get that big of a jump, a throw one step earlier, you would have gotten her.
Yeah. Good slide to the outside to make sure she doesn't get tagged.
And now Ventura has, a runner out at second base, and there's nobody out.
Swing to go down and get it. Can't do that. It's Guzman. He's up. Diaz lets it drop in front of her.
Did they call? And they didn't call the infield fly rule either.
Oh, well, runner at second. That was alone, so it wouldn't be called.
Wouldn't be called, yeah.
And so here's the tough one. Again, that should be an error, but she never touched it. So I'm going to go along with the traditional people that would say you can't give a mental error, so that goes down as a base hit. And now you've got 2 up, 2 on here at the start of the third, and that's going to bring up Allbrent. So Lauren Allbrent comes up with 2 runners on, nobody out. And Ed, once again, we saw a misplayed pop fly yesterday, which cost Cerritos the game.
Well, these teams were well matched in the first game, and let's face it, 1 run was all that anybody could scratch out. So Ventura in a very good position here, Mark, to score a run. And if you look at last game, that might be all they need. 1-0 loss, a 1-0 win.
Allbrent squares, can't come up with anything. Squares again. That one's down and away. 2-0's the count. Callison's got the plate moving on her.
Yeah, she hasn't gotten into a groove. That's for sure.
Fly ball deep to left field. Taken right there by Guillen. And the runners tag and move up.
And that sun is causing some problems, Mark. You could see Gian really shielding her eyes, just like the Pavlovich short. It was just, it's hard to see.
So runners in scoring position. Ball gets away. Runner breaks for home. And Ventura takes the lead on a wild pitch. Bunt fouled away. So Isabel Gallegos, the right fielder, flew out to center her first time up for Ventura. 1 run in. Fouls it off her foot. Guzman over at third. Infield in. Gonna cut the runner off of the plate. Just off the plate. Bedoya at third. Leduc at first. Diaz at short. In tight. So is Sotelo. Walking up from second. Lined into the alley. Another run's in. The throw to second, she's there with a double. So she turns on it, Ed. Drives in at least 1 RBI. Would have had 2 if it wasn't for the wild pitch. And Ventura is on a roll here in the 3rd inning. Back up the middle. We'll see if they send the runner. Throw to the plate. It's off line. And Ventura scores another run. Three runs here in the top of the 3rd. 3 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. Garcia to Sotelo, who goes up high to pull it down. Tries to get somebody doubled up at second, just can't do it. Ball being hit hard by this Ventura team, Ed.
Yeah, and if that ball gets over her head, there's another run, maybe.
Nubber off the end of the bat. So Tafoya at the plate. Pitcher today for Ventura, staked for 3, fouls the next one back.
Well, Callison once again has an 0-2 count, so she needs to be able to not go to ball 1, ball 2. Just get the batter.
That one fouled off by Tafoya. So Ventura erupts for 3 here in the 3rd inning. The Pirates searching for gold. Tafoya swings and misses, but not before Ventura gets 3 big runs on the board. 3 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. Nobody left on base. As we head to the bottom of 3, it's Ventura 3, the Falcons 0 here on Sportsnet USA.net. Well, Ed, Ventura couldn't get a run in that first game. And it was one of those days where when you play against good teams, you can hold them down so long, but then they're going to find a way to come back and take advantage of any mistakes that you make.
Exactly. You just can't give the good teams extra chances, and we've seen that in so many games, Mark. Whether it's Cypress or Fullerton or here at Cerritos, it's just you can't give the good teams an extra chance to beat you because they will take advantage of your miscue and come up with some runs. Now, maybe if you're playing one of the teams that has 7 wins and 17 losses, yeah, you can make 2 or 3 errors because they're probably out there making 2 or 3 errors also. But you can't do that against the good teams.
Well, let's see if the Falcons can bounce back here. Get on the board.
And we've certainly seen the Falcons put up some offense and really, 1-0 win in the first game. So Ventura, in some senses, has that same issue in a way, Mark, that they have to make sure that suddenly the sleeping bats of the Falcons don't come alive just like they did for Ventura.
Williams comes up. Williams, a slap hitter, bunter. Uses her speed to her advantage. Shows bunt, pulls it back. 1-1's the count. 3 runs, 5 hits.
Wow, that really dropped that time.
Williams fakes a bunt.
I think we need some tape.
Williams takes that off the plate. 2-2's the count. Cody looking to get that lead runner here in the bottom of the third. Williams fouls out one away.
Now we're all repaired.
There we go. Tafoya looks at the dugout, gets the signs. Williams puts a little rifle shot in the left field, not deep enough. Taken easily out there in left field by Sayana Garcia.
Yeah, either that one had to carry more, Mark, or it had to get down a lot faster.
Alyssa Caps now to the plate. 4'11". Little spark plug for this Falcon team. Excellent bunter. Wonderful center fielder. Uses her speed and her guile to get on base. Drops the bunt. See if they're going to let it play. They let it go foul. Ed Ford, we saw that in the first game with a ball that had backspin, which you brought up, that if Ventura would have let it go, it would have been a foul ball.
Yeah, that one was another close one, and you think its initial hit would have been 10 inches towards the left field line. That would have stopped in fair territory.
Next pitch high and away. 1-2's the count. Cody looking for one of her speedsters to get on there. Caps looks at that, lets it go. 3 runs, 5 hits for Ventura. No runs, 1 hit officially for the Falcons. Caps fouls it straight back. Tafoya. Caps to right field, taken there, dropped off the glove. So Caps is over on first base with a big error in right field. So Gallegos has it bounce off her glove. And even John Van Gaston marks that down as an error.
Easy, easy. Well, that looked like a sure out, but those things happen on occasion.
And it looks like Patricia Soto is coming to the plate to pinch hit. So Soto coming to the plate to pinch hit for Cody's team.
Now, from our vantage point, Mark, from where we're standing, the wind seems to not be blowing out. You know, you look at the direction where the flag is blowing and the wind hitting us, they're two different directions.
Yeah, it does swirl here. I mean, I think that's one thing that's very tough for the outfielders here is it's a deceptive wind.
So you get one up in the air to center or right center, it should carry a long way.
Soto has that one get by her. 1-1's the count.
Yeah, she took a big swing at that one. So an important inning for Foya. She needs to, keep the Falcons from scoring. You always want to have a hold when you come back up after your team has gone out there offensively and gotten you some runs.
Soto looks at a second strike right across her knees. 1-2, 1 out. Caps over at first. Got on there with an error in right field. Tafoya with the wristband. Looks at the signs that she gets from the bench and then knows what pitch. And blows it by Soto for a strikeout. Two down.
Yeah,
here
you can watch that one more time. Just boom, just wasn't there.
Sotelo comes up. Caps stranded at first. Sotelo back to the middle, right there, a line drive, but hit right to Abby Strong at shortstop, and Strong didn't even move it for it. She just stuck a glove out and made the catch.
Yes. Hot shot, but right at somebody. So despite the fact that the Falcons get a runner on first, a gift runner on first, then the next two batters, a strikeout and a line out.
No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. As we head to the top of the 4th, it's the Pirates up by 3 over the Falcons here on Sportsnet USA.net.
So Tafoya goes out there and does what she needs to do. They get her 3 runs in the top of the inning. She goes out there and basically just shuts down the Falcons. If it wasn't for the error, would have been 1, 2, 3. So that's what you've got to do. And Callison now has to come out here and pitch a solid top of the 4th and not let the Pirates get any more runs.
And so we now have Rashard Leduc.
She's not in there. Leduc is now pitching.
So Leduc, who was playing first base, is now in the circle for the Falcons. So Leduc is now pitching. And I'll try and catch a look to see who's over at first as they move things around.
I don't think anybody's gone over there to first base yet. Oh.
And so Piper is now catching, so we'll catch you up on where everybody's at as changes are made by the Falcons. First pitch. High and tight.
Well, yesterday we have gloomy skies. It was getting a little windy and cold. Albert even got on his windbreaker sweatshirt.
Ayala. It's a lazy fly ball. And Caps just completely misjudges the ball in the air. And Ed, I got to ask you, because you said the sun's getting difficult. Caps runs to her right. The ball is to her left and loses it completely.
Well, there's not much more you can say about that, but unfortunate. And the last time that happened with Cerritos, cost them a run.
So that goes down as a hit, which should have been a routine fly ball to center field, and the play is not stalwart right now for these Falcons.
Yeah, you can't keep giving Ventura chances like this. They already have a 3-0 lead. You don't want them to start stacking it up to where that 3-0 lead, which is, you can catch up there, that all of a sudden it's 6-0.
Yep. Abby Strong up. Toon Woods count to Strong.
And especially with the Falcons not really generating a lot of offense today.
Didn't generate a lot yesterday either. Strong drops a bunt. LeDuc throws to first, and there's nobody there.
Okay, I'm gonna give my excuse. I was so stunned, I didn't even switch cameras. Wow. I mean, it was fielded in plenty of time, but nobody was covering first.
Yeah, and really, this is the sad thing. You give the air to the person who made the play. I picked the ball up on a bunt. I'm assuming there would be somebody covering the bag, so I'm going to turn, wheel, and throw. Hey, guess what? Nobody's home. And so she gets the air unfairly charged to her, and Cody's out now talking to the team.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, as we were alluding to, as you alluded to earlier, you have those mental errors that don't go into the official box score.
Yeah.
And that's certainly one. And yes, there's an error given, but you make the play. You wheel, you turn, you have plenty of time. Your throw is right over the bag where it should be. But you have the players that should cover it. Nobody knows what their assignment is, I guess, or they a temporary lapse.
And, I mean, you can't blame and say, well, Nahara just moved from catcher to first. LeDuc, who's the first base person, figures somebody who took her place would be there. So now runners at third and second, infield in.
Well, whatever the situation, they just really need to bear down here. There are no outs, and Ventura has runners at second and third.
Ashley Perez bunts through that, and if behind the plate, which you have a new catcher in Piper behind the plate, if she's looking, Ed, the runner at third is dead as they try a squeeze play, and it bust all over Ventura. So it's like Ed Ford likes to bring up, those little mistakes that don't get scored anyplace and now have the Falcons in a bind.
Yeah, and you've got a bind where there's nobody out. And if you're not playing a good team, you can get out of this with no damage. But a good team, it's going to be hard to get out of this without giving up at least one run.
Off the plate, 3-2's the count.
And now she has, after getting out in front comfortably, now is giving up some balls and a pitch away from loading up the bases.
Hit foul. Doya makes a wave at it, but if it would have been fair, it would have been Byer, and 2 runs would have scored.
And pulled a little more. I left my glove at home, so.
I'd have been flat on my back having a back spasm. So right field is going to drop. Foul. Just foul. As Williams, normally in left field, is now in right field. Three-two. Ball 4. So the bases are juiced.
With nobody out.
Infield in, Bedoya at third, Diaz at short, Sotelo at second. First pitch, taken for a strike. Nahara, normally a catcher, over at first. Guillen in left, Caps in center, Williams in right. Right down there, dive back to second, and Diaz makes the line drive catch and then crawls her way for a double play.
That was a little, not dangerous isn't the word I'm looking for, but that was a tough crawl to third base, especially when you have to push your teammate's foot out of the way to get the glove and the ball on the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, she never looked to flip it to Brooke. Big line drive out. And we've talked about Diaz at short and how talented Miranda is more than once in all the games we've done here. She flashed leather on that one. Off-speed pitch, 3-1.
So that's what Leduc needed, a nice double play there. And now she needs to finish things off, but she's behind 3-0.
3-2 is the count. So once again, Ed, Ventura's in the position, 3-2, 2 outs, runners will be moving. Well, they had the board 3-2. So now it is 3-2.
Now it is 3-2. Umpire wasn't very vocal about that one being a strike.
Strikes 3.
So Leduc gets it done with this strikeout. and the Pirates are turned away.
So for Ventura, no runs on no hits, 1 error, 2 left on base. As we head to bottom of 4, it's the Pirates 3, the Falcons 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. And, I mean, talk about dodging a bullet. You figured Ventura was going to at least get 2, maybe 1, and if everything went right, run rule might be staring us in the face right now.
Yeah, that was an inning where it looked like they would come up with at least 1 run, absolutely, but they didn't. They didn't get a chance to, since they're the Pirates, stick the cutlass in and finish off their opponent.
So the Falcons stay 3 back, 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Pirates. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the Falcons here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Tafoya throwing a 1-hitter so far in this game today.
And with the way she's pitching, they don't need more than those 3 runs at this point unless the Falcons start getting some offense going here. And pretty tough. You figure they play, you know, they had the rain out, but then they play Mount Sac, a game for number 1. Tight game, they lose that one. Then there's a doubleheader the next day. So it's a lot of softball, but, you know, the good teams have to rise to that occasion and shake off the fatigue and get out there and get it done.
Nahara starts it off here in the bottom of the 4th, trailing by 3.
Because you go to the regionals, you might be playing 1 and then 2 the next day.
One hit. This is one thing I like about Ventura. They do have 3 pitchers on their team that can go to the circle. Nahara takes that for a strike. You have Fincham, Tafoya, and Albertson that can all start a game for this Pirate team. High fly ball in the gap. Deep center off the top of the wall. And Vicky, who scorched one yesterday, I thought had number 2. Because I tell you what, when Lauren Albrecht stopped there, Ed, I thought it was going out in center field. So a big leadoff double by Nahara.
Well, that's what the Falcons need. A big leadoff hit. They've got it now. You know, the rest of the batters need to keep it going.
Brooklyn Bedoya up. Cody flashing signs.
Right. Bedoya just needs to make some contact here, knock it through the infield. And you don't have to, it doesn't have to go all the way to the wall, but get that runner to third base for sure with no outs.
Down and away, 2-0 count. Tafoya getting a little encouragement from her shortstop, Abby Strong, who comes into the circle. Can't find the plate. She looks like my cat looking for his kibble. I know it's here someplace. Let's see if she can find the strike here on 3-0.
Well, Falcons probably taking all the way on this.
Ed Ford right on, 3-1 count.
That's pretty much a baseball, softball cliche, you know. You always take on 3-0.
3-1 count. Ball 4. 2 up, 2 on for the Falcons here in the bottom of the 4th. So we'll see what Cody does, Ed. I mean, do you start the runners? Do you drop a bunt?
Well, I think Guillen's thinking, hey, I'll let that ball drop in the outfield. I'm gonna make up for things here and get a good poke and drive in somebody.
Being very patient at the plate, takes that for a ball.
And look at center field. They are playing her awful deep there. Couple steps in front of the warning track.
Everybody's deep for Ventura. Down and away. Nobody warming up for the Pirates in the bullpen. Little conversation now gonna go on out there.
Because, Mark, it seemed like
so Albrant deep in center.
Because when I first looked out there, she had stepped onto the warning track. She wasn't a couple steps in front of it. She was actually on the warning track for that first pitch. And then she moved in a little bit. So see her, she steps back now, and she almost steps on the warning track. So she is very deep.
Guillen, 2-0 count. 2 on, trailing by 3. Takes that one right down the middle.
Nice pitch. Took a little bit off the speed.
Guillen late on that one.
Yeah, and Tafoya got her to chase the high pitch that was not quite shin level, but collarbone level, shoulder level. It's hard to lay off that pitch, whatever, whether it's softball or baseball.
2-2 count. Fouled away. Into no man's land behind us.
Yeah, back another foul ball into the construction zone. Those construction workers, hey, how many I found today?
2-2. Runners staying at home. Nobody running so far.
Whoa.
Tafoya. Boy, that was close.
Yeah, boy, I was thinking that's it. You're punched out.
3-2, no outs. See if Cody starts anybody moving. Gives a hand sign to both the runners with a 3-2 pitch. Ball 4.
No, that was strike 3.
So, Michaela Torres comes up. Needs to put the ball in play to get something going on. Oh, and gee, I thought he called, my mistake. I thought he called that last one, ball 4. He called it strike 3.
Yeah. It sounded like the word ball floating this way, but when you walk to the bench and sit down instead of going to first base, you must be out.
So, Mike mistake. I thought he called it a ball, and next thing I know, I'm looking for bases loaded.
It sounded like he said ball.
Yeah, so did I, and he didn't make the right-hand move, so. You know what, Ed, I always worry about an umpire that when I'm on the infield getting the lineups and he goes, young men, how are you doing? If he calls me young man, I know he's going to have problems behind the plate. Two and one. Down in the dirt. 3-1. Miranda Diaz on deck.
So Tafoya almost gets in the same trouble as the Falcons had. You know, base would have been bases loaded with nobody out, but she manages to get an out. So we've got 2 on, 1 out.
Torres thought she had ball 4.
That really looked like ball 4. See if we can see that one more time. No, that was a good call.
3-2. And then Torres goes after something around her eyes or a little higher for strike 3.
So Tafoya goes from 1 pitch away from really being on the ropes, bases loaded, nobody out, to same 2 runners on and 2 outs. And the last 2 batters she's faced, she has had problems with them.
So Miranda Diaz up now.
Yeah, I mean, she ran the count kind of deep, but managed to strike them out.
Yeah.
2 strikeouts in a row.
Well, and she gets bailed out, too, on a batter that was a discipline. High pop fly, shallow left field, taken right out of the air by Abby Strong, who bails them out of the inning that looked like it was going to be productive, but comes up with nothing. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. As we head to the 5th, well, it's all Ventura. It's Ventura 3, the Falcons 0 here on Sportsnet USA.net. So the Falcons, who had an opportunity, can't cash in. And the team is now having their own conversation about what they didn't do when they had their opportunity to get on the board.
Let's see if we can give you some scores. Well, Ventura obviously lost the first game. You know that, and they're leading here in the second game. Desert and San Jacinto, Mount San Jacinto, all tied up at 4, going into the 11th. It's East Los Angeles, ELAC, the Huskies getting pounded by Citrus. The Owls, that's 12-1, top of the 4th. Moore Park is shutting out Long Beach. That's in the top of the 6th.
Wow.
And Long Beach lost yesterday, as we were talking about, to Rio Hondo. So, Megan's got to kind of rally the troops here. It's a doubleheader, though, so, lots can happen. Got some more scores for you. Orange Coast and Santa Ana, it's the bottom of the 2nd inning. No score there. Saddleback leading Golden West in the top of the 2nd by a score of 3-0. Cypress is going to play Riverside. Matter of fact, that game is underway, and Cypress out ahead, 2-0 over the Tigers.
So Sunglasses going to the outfield. Williams now goes from right to left for Cerritos.
We'll duck in a couple more scores for you. Later on, Modesto takes on San Mateo. Moore Park and Long Beach in the 2nd game of that doubleheader. Delta against Solano. Right now, it is Santiago Canyon leading Fullerton College. That's in the top of the 2nd inning, 2-0. And Chaffee takes on Cerro Coso in 2 games today.
Isabel Gallegos steps to the plate. flied out, and then a big RBI double in the third. Inside for a ball. And Ed, you've got to wonder how much that close Mount Sac game takes out of a team. Little flip of the wrist. Cap fighting the sun, gets it, and hauls it in for the out.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't help, but, you know, teams have to bounce back, and when they have opportunities, they need to cash in. Earlier, I'm not sure if it was earlier this week or the end of last week, Orange Coast had a chance to, you know, they had moved within like a half game of Fullerton. They're in the OEC. And here's your chance to move ahead of them. You're playing them head to head. You need to win that game. Orange Coast couldn't do it. They go down in defeat to Fullerton, and I'm not sure if they may have lost the next game after that. So their chance to, you know, catch the Hornets evaporated.
Call on the outside corner of the plate to Jocelyn Ortega, who's playing third today for Ventura. 0-2 count. Down low, 1-2.
I think maybe in here in the South Coast Conference, you know, not the best year for El Camino, but they seem to start bouncing back. But suddenly, it's not out of nowhere, but, you know, the unexpected.
Miranda Diaz scoops it up and gets the out.
The unexpected, suddenly, you know, Rio Hondo, the Road Runners, just like those Plymouth Road Runners, those muscle cars from the 70s.
That's right.
They stomp on the gas, and, you know, they got the big slicks on the back, and they go roaring past everybody and move into contention. So they're in fourth place instead of El Camino. As we mentioned earlier, eight straight victories to match Mount Sac's 8 straight wins.
It's interesting that you talk about teams. You brought up yesterday when we were here how Santa Ana was this really, really hot team last year, and then, let's be honest, they faded. And now you wonder about the teams in the different conferences that have been hot teams now. Is it fade time for some of these teams?
For some it could be. I mean, it's a long season. And we talked about that, about Santa Ana. You know, great pitching from Rojas. She got another, you know, Player of the Week award.
Shot. Bedoya picks it up, steps over, and makes it out.
Yeah, and
no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base as we head to the bottom of the fifth. It's the Pirates 3, the Falcons 0 on Sportsnet USA.net. And Ed, let's continue with our conversation about teams fading, because we know last year it happened. We know it happens in the playoffs when they get there. There are certain teams that don't. We saw one yesterday that we don't think they will.
Right.
That's Mount Sac. We saw one the week before that we're not accustomed to seeing fade, Cypress. So I'm going to go back to you. I mean, is it that time of year that all the good luck charm has run out and now it comes down to just don't have enough?
Well, I think that's the real test. You know, teams can get out of the gate fast, and some teams get out of the gate fast and then last for a while, but it's who finishes, who's got the strength, the bench, the pitching, you know, who doesn't make the most mental errors to get to the end of things. So right now, Mount Sac in front of Cerritos, 13-2 to 11-3 in conference, and this isn't a conference game today, so that won't change. Long Beach is at 10-5, and Rio Hondo is 8-6 in conference. They're a half game in front of El Camino, which is 8-7. Overall, though, Rio Hondo 17-7, and that's going to look a lot better than El Camino's 15-13 when you look at the playoff picture. We're talking about the Orange Empire Conference. That's being led by Santa Ana right now, 11-1. But Cypress is just one back, 10-2, and they get to play Santa Ana again. So they can decide things on their own without getting any help, because if they win 2 of the 3, they've got the tiebreaker, if things are going to work that way. And I think their RPI is higher than Santa Ana's to start with.
Williams will start things off for
Which
the
quite
Falcons.
doesn't make sense, but maybe by now it does, but it certainly didn't earlier in the year.
Williams up at the plate. Falcons trailing by 3 here in the bottom of the 5th. Looking for some spark. Falcons win the first game in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, Williams has been on a few times during our stay out here, so a good player to be leading things off. Oh.
Drops a bunt with a little backspin on it, and it rolls foul.
Just a little bit too much backspin.
Sort of like a little Phil Mickelson or Tiger Woods backspin on that ball.
And you can tell the players that work on their bunting and the players that don't.
Yeah,
and normally, I mean, from what we've seen the last 2 days, we've seen 2 teams, 3 teams that can do some bunting.
Little slap shot.
Now, if we back up to Tuesday and we go to that other game that has 4 bases, I'm not so sure about there.
Yeah, the men don't know how to bunt anymore. The men don't use the bunt. If their life depended on the bunt, they'd all be in trouble. Well, if their scholarships did. Slap shot by Williams again. Foul. Breeze blowing again. Ed Ford and I have said, interesting breeze here at Nancy Kelly Field. Comes in behind us.
Yeah, we feel it on our backs, but if you look out at the flag, it's just hanging there. So
Williams takes it up the middle for a base hit.
That's the kind of slap hit you want. Very well aimed. Didn't carry too far to where one of the outfielders is going to catch it. Nor, right between shortstop and second base, so no chance for anybody to get that one.
So Caps comes up. Takes that low. It's been a tough sun field. All 3 of them today at Nancy Kelly Field. Caps had problems with the sun, misjudged a fly ball that she normally would catch. Locks her hip, doesn't pull the trigger. Tafoya's been solid in the circle. Only 3 hits today she has given up. A pitch around the eyes. And Caps fouls it away.
Yeah, you don't want to try to bunt one that's almost over your head.
Yeah, she's 4'11", so that pitch was at least 5 feet
She would
high.
have been wearing some 70s platforms, like Sly Stone or something like that.
There we go. There we go. And still wouldn't have butted it right.
Yeah. Just not one to go after.
Taking that one low. 2-2. Cody Murray down here at third base. Wanting her girls to just stay patient.
Yep.
3-2.
Move the count to 3-2. So we'll see what kind of call the umpire makes if Maybe something a little more decisive if we know if it's strike 3 or ball 4.
We'll see what happens. If I'm Tafoya, I go back up high. Fouled away. Good swing, good cut at the ball. Caps almost dialed in on that one.
Now what do you throw her?
I still come back with a high fastball. They've been susceptible to a high fastball. We'll see if that's what Tafoya brings. Fastball right down the middle. Caps all over it. Lissa Caps, center field for this team. Solid defensive ball club that Cody's got. Trying to bounce back after winning the first one. Caps drives it into the alley. Taken out there in left field on a good jump by Garcia. So Garcia gets a great jump on the ball to make that out. We go to the top of the order. Charlotte Duke up. First pitch for a strike. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Pirates. No runs, only 3 hits for the Falcons. Fouled away. It was fouled right at my car.
Didn't carry far enough.
Oh-2 count. Shorten the swing. Put it on the ground. Make them play defense. Fouled away the other direction. Guzman in at first. Ortega even with the bag at third. Strong on the outfield grass at shortstop. Doesn't go after it. No swing. 1-2's the count. Almost.
Almost. That was. I'm not sure why the bat was even moving. Ball's that low. It's Corey and Nealon lining up the putt, but other than that.
1-2. Drive, center field. All the way back is Lauren Albrent, who pulls that one in. So the solid second base person for Cody. Hoping to start a 2-out rally here in the bottom of the 5th. Tafoya just cruising along. Drive to deep left field. Does it have enough? Oh, bye-bye.
Wow. She got all of it. And there it went.
That thing was hit. There was no way that was going to stay here inside of Nancy Kelly Field, no matter what the wind was doing, no matter where the fences were. That was hit and gone as soon as it left the bat. 3-2 ball game. Bottom of 5. Off-speed pitch. Nehera swings over it for a strike. 0-2 count.
Yeah, she was going for her tater too. Well, we still have power. We won't worry about it.
Nehera waiting. Tafoya bringing. 2-2's the count. That dribbled in. Three and two's the count. Ball 4.
And she laid off the high pitch that a lot of the Falcons were swinging at, and she gets her free base.
Right. Base hit in the left field, so the rally continues. So 2 on, 2 out.
Well, Corey Nalen watching the game, he has a comment, and we'll get to that after this pitch. Corey says, hit like my golf swing, hit over the fence, and the ball not coming back.
Yeah, but on his golf swing, hit over the fence, that means it's out of bounds on the right.
It's still over the fence, and
That's
it's
true.
not coming back.
That's
so
true.
He is right.
And the upside for Corey, he doesn't have to run. Down in our direction, foul ball. So a big 2-run homer gets Cody's team closer to tying this game. Couple runners on, 2 outs, 0-2 count.
Yeah, and Tafoya was looking almost invincible there. And now she's got her troubles.
Guillen stays alive, fouls it away.
Last time Guillen had that strikeout where, we weren't sure what the umpire really said. So I'm sure she wants to come through in this situation. Doesn't have to drive it over the fence, just get it through the infield.
Tafoya trying to work her way out of this. Guillen off, little number over to first, just in time. Nice play made right there by Jocelyn Ortega to get the out. 2 big runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. At the end of 5, it's Ventura 3, Cerritos 2 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Ed Ford, the old guy standing next to him. Corey Nalen drinking a mint julep, taking it easy at home. Albert Robles cruising the neighborhood. And who knows where the rest of the crew is here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Well, at least for right now, Ed Ford and myself, we're out here watching another exciting community college softball game on Sportsnet, USA.net. We want to thank everybody at Cerritos for always making us welcome. Don't forget, coming into next week, we're going to have a little Cypress College baseball on Sportsnet, USA.net, and then we're going to end the weekend with a little more softball doubleheader at Cypress next weekend here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
Yes, they will be playing Palomar. Right now, Cypress College, top of the third inning in OEC play. They are leading the Riverside Tigers. That's in Riverside by a score of 5-0. Santa Ana, I'm sure you know who's pitching for them. And they lead Orange Coast 2-0. That is in the fourth. Top of the third inning, Golden West down 5-0 to Saddleback. And we'll get that Santiago score for you because they should be playing also. We'll get to that score right after this pitch. And then we'll give you the South Coast Conference scores also. Santiago Canyon playing over at the close confines of the Ivy Wall at Fullerton College. They lead the Hornets top of the third inning 4-0.
Tafoya takes 4 straight balls and works her way on base.
LA Mission and Rio Hondo playing, no score on that. East Los Angeles down 12-3, bottom of the fifth inning against Citrus, so that's probably a final. Still 4-4, Mount San Jacinto and Desert, 4-4, top of the 13th.
Snap through to first, not in time.
Somebody must say, hey, let's play 3. And top of the seventh inning, Moore Park, 5-1 over Long Beach, and that's going to be a doubleheader today at Long Beach.
Drive, but Doya snags it like going after a runaway dog, grabs it by the nape of the neck, flips over to first for the out on the play. The runner advances to second. What a heck of a play at third base. Abby Strong comes up there. Strong drops a bunt, advances a runner, but is the second out of the inning.
And they did what they wanted to do. They got the runner at the third base, a good bunt for that, good sacrifice. Advantage for the Falcons is now it's 2 outs, and this is where LeDuc really needs to come through and shut them out after her team gets back 2 runs. You don't want to, give up a run here and then what your team did offensively kind of goes for naught.
Ow.
That he didn't. Okay, hold on. We're going to take a break here.
Is that an error on me?
No, we'd have to say that's a hit. If only you were wearing your Spalding glove.
That's
You
it.
could have just
I could have snagged it.
snagged
it. Corey Nailing, I just missed that line drive. It hit my left palm. I just couldn't bring it in. Over to Sotelo. Flip over to first for the out. No runs on no hits, no errors, and one left on base. So Corey Nailing, you missed it. We had a line drive hit right at the table. Mr. Pavlovich threw up his left hand. And I mean, it was a shot, baby. Threw up my left hand, tried to catch it with my left hand with no glove on. I guess my hands aren't as big as I thought they were, because that's going to be an E on the old guy. Of course, you would have given her a base hit, but being the defensive player on that one, I'd have given myself an error because I should have hauled it in. Reality says I should have ducked on the play, but I didn't as it came towards Ed and I. And Ed just sort of stood there and stared at me as I stuck up my left hand and tried to catch it. So remember, Corey, about 8 o'clock tonight, you may want to call me and see if my hand is the size of a large floppy pillow. Seeing if my partner in crime is looking at me saying, old guy, what's wrong with you? You are absolutely right, Corey Nailing. My hands are not as soft as they used to be at third base. That's the truth. Man, but hey, Corey, the one thing I will say, my hands are still quick, baby. I got my hands up. I just don't have the ability to pull it in anymore. Cody's happy I'm not playing third base for her. So we head to the bottom of the sixth, 3-2. Ventura in front. Thank you. Thank you, Ed. Is it okay if I have a pina colada while we're on the air?
Yeah. Yeah, they were all asking the Cerritos trainers, is he okay?
High fly ball in the gap to right center. Taken down quickly there by Isabel Gallegos.
Well, all I can say is if it would have been Ryan Osborne, he would have deflected it into our very expensive pan tilt zoom head and broken it.
Yeah.
Like he did with the monitor.
Yeah. I'm disappointed I didn't catch it. I thought I still had hands. Well, I have hands. They just don't work too well. Miranda Diaz up at the plate.
Well, you can try to stop those. Not me. Because the softball isn't soft. It's just a larger, hard.
Diaz drives it in the alley. It's going to go. Drops down for a base hit.
Good hitting by her. That one looked like it might be going to the fence, but Mark, it just landed very softly when it came down.
I was surprised. I thought it was going to roll a little more on that.
It just sat there. Kind of like you hitting a 1-iron for your second shot into a par 5, going for it in 2.
There we go.
Lands softly on the green, 3 feet away.
You know, the thing on
Corey's at home laughing, falling off the couch right now,
that I'm sure of. The only upside I can say, Ed, about this left hand, at least I didn't catch it on my fingers. because I'm not sure where the closest hospital is around here.
Well, Cody has all those landscaping tools in the dugout. Yeah, quick amputation. He'd have been okay.
I'd have had the entire team follow me to the hospital. I'd have been a celebrity. Oh, what a play behind the plate. Williams tries to drop down a bunt, and Ayala dives for it and gets it out of the air.
Great play by her, as you could see on the replay there. Just a good hustle. Big D play there for the Pirates.
Caps looking to keep something going here. Takes that one low. Runner at first, 2 outs. Trailing by 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Once again, flinches but doesn't turn.
But still gets a strike called on her.
Pitch down and away. Everybody moving as she fakes a bunt. High and away. 3-1. Ed Ford will be teaching, preaching patience. It's probably Corey Nalen again.
You can afford to just take one here, but don't swing at a bad one.
Takes that one about waist high on the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, definitely that was a strike. So here's the pitch.
3-2. Off the fist, fouled down the right field line, out of play.
And you certainly don't want to go down with the bat still on your shoulder, nor do you want to swing at one that's, at the bill of your helmet. You're going to get out, at least go after a quality pitch.
3-2. Tafoya brings it. Thank you, Ed.
Okay.
Strike 3 called.
Strike 3 called, but first we have to call ball, sounds like. Is that what you heard?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. And then he said, strike. So as we come to the end of the 6th, it's Ventura 3. The Falcons 2 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. No, I heard the same thing you did, Ed.
I think you put that ice back on my head.
I'm thinking I should, because I thought when he first called that, I thought, and then he went strike 3. So it was like, okay, all right, a little different.
Yeah.
Now, girls from Cerritos, you saw them. I got my hands up in front of the ball. You got gloves on. You make the catch when it gets hit at you.
Well, wind picking up now as we go to the 7th inning. Top of the 7th inning, Ventura the Pirates coming down from the lovely Gold Coast of California. And they are on the brink of maybe splitting this 2-game doubleheader after losing the first game in the bottom of the 7th inning as Cerritos came up with a run. And we'll see if we can get some more scores for you also as we go along. And that was a final Citrus over East Los Angeles by a score of 12-0.
Guzman, little pop fly to Miranda Diaz. Diaz hauls it in for a quick out. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 7th.
Long Beach loses to Moore Park as Moore Park runs their record at 20-6. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Moore Park. And for the Vikings, 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 errors.
Perfect bunt past the pitcher. No possible play by Albrecht. What a beautiful job of bunting.
Absolutely. Bottom of the 14th, Desert over Mount San Jacinto, 6-4. We gave you the ELAC score. Bottom of the 5th, Santa Ana still leads 2-0.
Line back up the middle.
Saddleback over Golden West, 5-1. That's in the 3rd. Bottom of the 3rd, Cypress still leads Riverside 5-0. No score on Chaffee Cerritos. Top of the 4th, it is Santiago Canyon 6, Fullerton College 2. And no scores from the Northern California games.
So Ortega at the plate. 1 out, 2 on. High pitch, squares the bunt, pulls back in time. Ortega's walked, doubled, and grounded out to short. Drops a bunt, which is foul. Ventura trying to get that insurance run, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, and once again, the Falcons get into this 2 runners on situation where how many times can you dodge your way out of this?
Taken down the middle. 2-2's the count. Strike 3.
And we'll show you that strikeout pitch again. Definitely strike 3. As LeDuc brings it in. And then the snap throw down to first. So 2 down now for Ventura, but they're still threatening. 2 runners on here in the top of the 7th inning. We're at Nancy Kelly Field at Cerritos College in Norwalk, California.
So the runner left too early, Ed. Cody came out and got the call. So as we go to the bottom of the 7th, it's Ventura 3. Falcons 2 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So Cody comes out and plays a little rule game with Ventura. Gets the call like she didn't yesterday, but she gets it today. And has the opportunity now to stop the drive on her own. And now she needs that 1 run to tie this game up here in the 7th.
Well, the experienced coaches know the rules. And when they need to pull the run, well, not the run rule, but one of the rules out of the book and show the umpire, hey, this is what happened. And as long as the umpires are receptive to it, sometimes you do have some that just don't want to hear it. No matter if they kick the call all the way to Jupiter, they just don't want to hear about it.
Well, I think the thing that was nice is both umpires talked with each other on that one. Unlike yesterday, where Cody didn't get the mutual discussion from the umpires. So a great move by Cody Murray to get that 3rd out. coming off the bench and looking at the umpires and telling the umpires, hey, there was a violation there. Let's get that third out, which is what she did.
So then how do we score that double play?
Yeah, I guess I would, yes.
Do we give Cody an assist on that?
You know, I've never had to do it that way. I'll have to look that up just to make sure.
Well, the Falcons certainly need to get something going here. They need to pull what they pulled in the last game, get something going in the bottom of the 7th. So it's just, you know, you just need a run here. You don't need to win the game in the bottom of the 7th, but you need to tie it up at least and send it into extra innings.
Like that old thing, Ed, you got to tie it up before you can win it.
That's true.
3-1's the count. Tafoya's been strong for the entire game.
True. And Leduc didn't chase a high pitch there, which is a positive for the Falcons.
Ball 4. Tying run is on base in the bottom of the 7th. Wanted to make sure,
right? Making sure that was ball 4. And the wind really gusting now, and now there's no mistaking. It's not swirling. It's at our backs and it's blowing straight out to right and right center field.
Sotelo
nice
comes to the plate. Charlotte Duke over at first. Sotelo fouls out one. Easy pop-up to Alyssa Guzman at second base. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, and you wonder if she also was noticing, boy, that wind's blowing out the right field. I just need to hit it to the right side up in the air, and it's going to carry.
Vicky Nahara, the big home run yesterday, just needs to get a base hit. Get that tying run in scoring position. Takes that one for a strike.
Yeah, definitely. You want to come up to the plate, obviously, and a pop up to second base that gets maybe to the edge of the skin. That's just not what you need in this situation. You need to do something that produces the runner moving forward. A ground out, get the runner to second. A sacrifice, get the runner to second.
Yeah. Trying too hard, trying to swing too hard.
Maybe trying to go to the right side when it's just better just to go with the pitch and get a base hit someplace else.
Yeah, exactly.
And not try to get the long ball. Like you said, you got to tie it up first before you can win it. And yeah, it's nice drama in the bottom of the 7th. You hit the long ball, it clears the fence. You hit a 2-run home run, and you're the hero. But can't always knock them out of the park.
Tafoya. Only 2 runs in these 7 innings. Nahara tries to drop a bunt, can't get it down. 0-2's the count.
Well, now she's going to have to swing away.
1 out. Runner at first. Down by 1. Bottom of the 7th. Drive. Taken over to first. That's the one place to go. The runner advances. The runner is now in scoring position. And that brings up Brooklyn Bedoya. Two outs. If Bedoya gets a single, we'll see how gutsy Cody is if she turns her runner at third and sends her home.
Well, I think it's going to have to be a long single.
Fouled away. Tafoya has pitched a heck of a game for Ventura. Never looked rushed at. She's never looked stressed.
Yeah, she got into some trouble, but she worked her way out of it, and she's only a couple strikes about getting out of this. Make it one strike away from getting out of this.
Ventura looking for the split. Oh and 2. Tafoya taking her time. Rocks. Down the line. It's a base hit. Here comes the runner. We got a tie at least. The throw to second, not in time.
Wow. Wow. What clutch hitting. Unbelievable.
Brooklyn Bedoya rips it down the third baseline. And Cody had her runner at second wheeling. She was going to score no matter what. And now we're all tied up at 3. So from the basement, now you're at the ground floor. Can you get to the penthouse with one more single?
I wouldn't have believed it. The way Tafoya was cruising along. I mean, she had the one inning where they scored 2, but it looked like she had settled down and, going to be in control the rest of the way, but you never can tell.
So the winning run at second base with 2 outs. Maddie Guillen comes up. If Guillen can take it down the first baseline, Ed, on a single, this game is over. Guillen late on that swing.
Yeah, she's struggled today with the bat. So this is where she'd like to come through for her team.
Guillen, 1-1 count. Holds up on that, 2-1. Doesn't go for the high fastball.
No, but she was tempted. She was awful tempted there.
2-1 count. Tafoya. Down low. 3-1 count. Guillen's run does not matter. It's Bedoya at second. So Tafoya doesn't need to bring in a sweet pitch. 3-1 count with 2 outs. Ball 4. First and second. Runner at second wins the game. The runner at first, means nothing as Michaela Torres comes up. Tafoya now, taking a little more time in between pitches. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th, tied at 3. 2 runners on. Cody walks down the third baseline. Michaela fouls it off with a big swing. 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Riverside. 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Falcons. Not at 3. Torres takes that outside. Patience has all of a sudden walked into the hitters for the Falcons.
Yes. You know, Torres is listed at 5 foot even. She looks taller than 5 foot even. And if she gets a hit here, definitely taller than 5 foot even.
Laid on that fastball. 1-2. Worst case scenario, the Falcons have extended this game. Kayla fouls it away. Well, and I tell you, Brooke Bedoya was almost at third. If that drops in the outfield, I'm going to say game over.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're running all the way no matter what, so.
Watch Bedoya at second. Torres at the plate. Fouled away.
Boy, she's hanging in there, hanging tough.
Kat Tafoya has pitched an incredible game today.
Yeah, and she's hanging tough too. So she just needs one more strike here and she gets out of this.
Tafoya brings it home on a 1-2 count. Fouled away.
Whoa, Torres just got a little piece of that one.
Outstanding at bat.
Yeah, you've got two battlers out there, and they're just, they're hammering at each other. Let's see who wins it finally with the game on the line.
Ball. Close, but no cigar.
Yep, that was a close one.
2-2. 2-2. 2 outs. 2 on. Knotted at 3. 7th. It's the bottom of the 7th. Tafoya gets the sign from the dugout. She rocks and brings it off the plate. 3-2, and now the runners will be getting that Olympic running start.
Yep. No place for. You don't want to walk. You don't want to walk here if you're Ventura.
The pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside. So it looks like we're going to extra time here on SportsNetUSA.net. We are knotted at 3. 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Ventura. 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Falcons as we head for the top of the 8th here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ed Ford, the Falcons come through. We thought they might be able to pull it off, but we're getting a little free baseball, softball, volleyball, soccer, lacrosse. You pick the sport. We'll call it here on SportsNetUSA.net. A little free softball right now on SportsNetUSA.net. Ed Ford and myself. An exciting softball game. Ed, you know what? I think community college softball is one of the more exciting sports around the country. And we have the pleasure of calling quite a bit of it here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Yes, we definitely have the pleasure of calling it, and this year has been a banner year for us, as many games as we've put on, and the season isn't over. This is just April 1st, so we have all of April with games coming up from Cypress College has a doubleheader against Palomar. That game will be next Saturday. That is Saturday the 9th. Cerritos coming up with more softball from them. They have games against, they will be playing Chaffee. That will be on the 13th. I don't think we've ever streamed a game with Chaffee, so you SportsNetUSA.net fans will get a chance to see the Chaffee Panthers, at least in softball. We've seen the Chaffee Panthers on SportsNetUSA.net in football when they played the Fullerton College Hornets in one of the bowl games 7, 8 years ago, something like that.
When Corey was young.
Yeah, when Corey was young. Well, when we all were younger. So that's coming up, and some more conference action for them also.
So we are going to the tiebreaker rule, where you put a runner at second base. So Sayana Garcia will start off with a runner at second base. Here comes the throw over. Ball gets away. Ventura gets to runner to third.
Yeah, one pitch and you get yourself in a hole, a bigger hole, because you already have the runner at second base. Now that runner's at third, and there's no outs.
Infield in at the corners and second. Garcia playing left field today. Takes that pitch high. 2-0's the count. So the international tiebreaker rule. Next pitch is a ball, 3-0. Ventura with the upper hand. Down the middle. 3-1. So Bedoya in at third. Diaz in at short. Sotelo at second. Ball 4, runners at the corner.
After that big rally in the in the seventh, picking up that run and tying things up and sending it into extra frames, the Falcons have started off not well here in the top of the 8th with the tiebreaker rule. So Ventura gets quickly, runners at first and third, and there's no outs up there.
So Cody's going to make a defensive change. Nahara is going to go back to catching. We'll see who she moves to first base. So Nahara is putting on tools of the trade. And I'm waiting to see who
Maddie
is in
Guillen
first base.
Trotted back in, I believe. No, that wasn't her. That was Hamilton.
That's Ariana Hamilton now. Ed, I guess, is going to go over to first. Now, this is a real interesting move, because she wants a catcher that if the runner takes off for first, she knows what to do with the ball. No force play at home. It is a tag play at home. Kat Tafoya is up. Drops the butt. Squeeze play. The runner will score on the squeeze play. Beautiful squeeze play by Tafoya. Drops it down, deadens it, and the only person that can make the play is the pitcher, and it was in that, well, desert area.
Let's see that
you don't
one
want your
more
car
time.
to break down in.
Yep. Just plus with the toss being high, you're not going to get the ball down in time anyway.
So Ventura takes the lead, 4-3.
So they steal one of Mark Pavlovich's signals
There we go.
and do the squeeze and get a run.
So it's 4-3, 4 runs, 10 hits now. And Tafoya, the pitcher of record, gives herself back the lead. High pitch.
Do you think there would have been any way to really defend against that?
What?
That squeeze? Do you think there would have really been any way for the Falcons to defend against that?
No. That was just a beautiful bunt. High pitch.
It almost
One
goes
pitch
back to the
away.
screen. Yeah.
To load the bases, and what the Falcons accomplished now could just turn into nothing.
Yeah, and it's not like they're out, they've given up one run, but they're not out of trouble. There's no outs on the board and the bases are loaded. And now you have the infielders way in again. I mean, I don't know if they're going to drop a bunt here, but boy, if you swing away, you could cause some real damage.
Drive over the head. Williams came in and froze on it on a stand-up double that drives in 2 more runs. So Williams, Ed, goes back, stops, and then realizes it was over her head. By that time, it was too late, and Ventura gets 2 more.
And that's the, you have the infield in like that, but, if they decide to swing away and hit the ball, it's not doing anything for you.
So Ventura answers here in the 8th. Drives it foul. Hit back over in this direction. Ladies, I've already made my 1 play for the day.
Yes. And certainly don't look to me to make a play.
Just off the plate. 1 and 2. 3 runs in. 2 more at 2nd and 3rd. No outs. Here in the top of the 8th. Swung on a miss. Out number 1.
Yeah, you don't want to make this too big where you would need some sort of miracle offense in the bottom of the 8th inning to tie this up.
Guzman watches that one in the dirt.
But they've kind of let this one, kind of let the roof fall in on them somewhat.
High and away.
You start the inning off with the runner at 2nd because of the tiebreaker rule, and then your first pitch is wild pitch, pass ball, whatever you want to call it. It's in the dirt, gets away from the catcher, and the runner gets the 3rd.
Ball gets away. The runner breaks for home. The throw. The runner's in.
Absolutely safe. Let's watch the replay of that. There goes the ball. And there's the runner, and too late to make the play there. So that makes the score 7-3.
7-3 here in the top of the 8th. Still one out. Run at third and scoring position. So you walk the runner. Runner's at the corner. One out. 4 runs in here in the 8th. And Ashlyn Fincham is warming up to close out this game for Ventura. Drive down the right field line, way foul. And if Ed, that one drops, well, you can close the gates.
Yeah, we could start taking down the cameras.
Yeah, I think so. That would have dropped fair.
Of course, as long as it's going to take us to take down the cameras, we might as well just leave them on.
Up, over, and out.
Matter of fact, we might as well because, what, Chafee in 13 days? Yeah, we might as well. It'll take us about 2 weeks to get all this equipment down.
I was going to say, we'll be here. We'll just take it down and reset it up. That's all. The pitch. High and away. Runner advances to second. So Guzman now over at second. Up by 4. Outside. Fincham. Ball goes down in the dirt again. Another run in, and the parade continues for Ventura. 8-3 here in the 8th. Wild pitch. Wild pitch. Gives them a couple more runs. Fouled away. So you tie up the game and then you let the watermelon seed gets on your fingertip and slides out of there and a brand new garden is reborn. Ball 4. That brings up Isabel Gallegos to the plate. And Cody comes out there. Cody's going to go back to her starter here in the 8th. So Courtney Callison comes back into the game. She re-enters the circle. But the doors are open. It's 8-3, 8 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Ventura. 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Falcons. The Falcons come and tie it in the 7th. The momentum changed, and then we went to the international tiebreaker rules, and it's been all Ventura since then.
Absolutely. Let's get some scores in for you since we have a little break in the action. It's a final Santa Ana over Orange Coast by a score of 3-0 as the Dons keep winning. Winning pitcher, of course, Emily Rosas, now at 24-4 on the year.
Fincham is warmed up, so we'll see if she's ready to go when she comes out there. It's Courtney Callison back in the circle. Charlotte Duke back over at first. So this is how we started the game, and this is back where we're at with the Falcons trailing by 5. 1 out. Runner at the corners. Runner takes off. Throw to second. No. And the runner scores from third. 9-3 here in the 8th. And this is the intention of the international tie rule, not to, Bedoya pulls that in for the second out, not so that games go 27 innings anymore. 2 down. Jocelyn Ortega, who played third today for the Pirates. Takes that for a strike. 1-1's the count. 2 outs. 9-3. Duke says she's got it, and she does, but not before Ventura puts up 6 big runs. 6 runs on 2 hits. Too many wild pitches or pass balls and a couple walks along the way allow Ventura to have the lead 9-3 as we head to the bottom of the 8th here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
And some more scores for you. Mentioned Santa Ana and Rosas winning by a score of 3-0. Also in the OEC, in the top of the 6th inning, Saddleback over Golden West 5-1. It is now in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Cypress Chargers lead Riverside by a score of 8-1. And our other OEC score, it's Santiago Canyon 6 and Fullerton College 2. Moore Park beat Long Beach today by a score of 5-1. They're playing a doubleheader. And in the second game, that is just in the first inning, and we have no score. The other OEC, not OEC, South Coast Conference game was East Los Angeles and Citrus, a non-conference game though, and ELAC got plastered there by a score of 12-3.
So runner put on second base, no outs, trailing by 6. Catafoya still in the circle. First pitch for a ball. Tafoya with the beautiful bunt for the squeeze play to give them the lead in the 8th. Trying to close this one out and get the victory. She's gone all 7 innings in this game. For a strike. So runner at second. No outs. This is how you start the inning. Put a runner in scoring position. But at this stage of the game, could be too many by Ventura when they had their opportunity.
Well, they had Flincham throwing
Yeah.
and, warming up, but didn't bring her in. And that's a little surprising. I don't really know the rotation that well, but if you want somebody to get in some work, this would be the time to bring him in and get him some work. Odds are, Cerritos isn't going to come up with 6 runs here to tie it up. Anything can happen, though. Ventura came up with 6 runs.
So you get a walk. 2 on, no outs. We've seen stranger things happen here on sportsnetusa.net. Tafoya looks over at the bench, big smile on her face. Williams comes up. Takes the first one for a strike. Trailing by 6 in the bottom of the 8th. They need 6 to tie, 7 to win. Ball high, 1-1. Like Ed told you, Ventura had somebody warming up, decided not to bring her in. One attempt, fouled away. 1-2. Wind feels like it's blowing straight out to right field.
Yes, it is.
Taken back up the middle, knocked down. And everybody thought Cody was going to have him running. It got knocked down at shortstop by Abby Strong. Dribbles out into center field as Strong goes down and eats a lot of dirt on the play. And then comes back up. They want to make sure she's okay. And so it was almost going to be a traffic jam at third base, Ed, because everybody was running.
Yeah. So the Cerritos training staff will come out, take a look at her, see if she's okay. Yeah, it just looks like she got dirt in her nose.
Little bloody nose going on with Abby Strong. So she
she
hit the dirt. She must have gone down face first.
Yeah, she's tough. She'll be back out there.
Here, need some ice? And Fincham now in the circle for Ventura. So she comes in, and boy howdy, she can bring it as a fastball. Her speed is probably almost double from what we have seen today from other people in the circle.
Yeah, she's bringing it. She's got that big orange bow in her hair.
Normally the starter for this team. Ed Ford, one of the things you and I have not seen a lot of, this is real interesting. When's the last time this year we have seen anybody in the circle or on the field wear a face guard in any one of our games here on sportsnetusa.net? This year.
This year? The Mount Sac game.
Mount Sac game?
Yeah. Who's the second pitcher again?
Oh, I don't remember. Can't think of her name right now. She wore a face guard? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
She wears a face guard. She wore it during the Cypress Mount Sac doubleheader too.
Okay.
It's a little less conspicuous than Flincham's, so sometimes it just kind of blends in.
Caps at the play. Takes it back up the middle. They go to the plate for one. Over a third, not in time. So force out. Fielder's choice for Caps. Runner is forced out at the plate. So everybody comes up to the next base, but nobody scores, and there's one out on the play. LeDuc takes that for a strike. Waist high. See if Fincham just throws fastballs.
Well, with her added velocity, why not? Whoa!
Foul play, throw to the plate, the runner will score, but what a play down the right field line by Isabel Gallegos. Coming in from right field, heading for the fence, and doesn't shy away from it. The runner tags and goes home, but I'll exchange one run for one out at this stage of the game.
And she backhanded that too, so that was a great effort.
That brings up Sotelo, and she goes back to right field, and right there is Gallegos. So Ventura, who just decides the overtime rules are more than enough for them, come away with a victory, 9-4 over this Falcon team. The Falcons end up splitting a double header with Ventura, and Ventura goes home a little happier, coming away with this victory. For Ed Ford, I'm the old guy. You've been watching Cerritos Softball on SportsNet USA.net.